our last class we have today is a revamped strip and triangle class. So it's really paying homage to anyone who did creative memories back in the day when we all started learning the strip and triangle. But this is a little bit more advanced and a bit more fun. So the main tools I'm going to use is the personal trimmer, some tape runners, scissors, and our star in this one is the border maker system. Now, if you've not ever used one of these, they are fantastic for creating quick and easy borders, and we're going to use that as a part of today's layout. The paper packs I chose to use, so cardstock wise, which I'm going to use the cardstock with the border makers very shortly. 3 colours: crimson, dark green, and here's a scrap of bronze because I'm doing Christmas photos, and so I think they're going to be perfect. And I am using Joy to the World, one of the stickers out of here, Joy to the World laser cut embellishments, some Joy to the World tone on tone papers. So that would be these two out of the tone on tone pack. And out of the designer pack, I'm using a raiment of this fun print, because these are going to be used on our triangles. This one, and this one to give us some fun triangles. So let's make a start. Oh, and the other tool that we will need very briefly is our fantastic 12-inch trimmer, which I can't say it enough. I think it's the best trimmer in the world. So let's start off. Pop all these to one side. Clear our space. And let's start off by using the border maker system. So I think I'm going to do, obviously, the candy canes will be the crimson. Now the stockings, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and do those in the green, and the ornaments in the bronze. So let's start off and put those to one side, and we'll start off doing the candy canes. So if you haven't used our border maker system before, it's really easy to use. There's a whole lot of different cartridges, and I've been collecting them for many years now. And there's lots of interesting different cartridges. This one's our latest, the candy cane. The stockings was last year, and I think the ornaments was the year beforehand. So they're always bringing out something new and interesting. So they just click into the holder till it snaps. Then taking this fantastic guide, you just click out the back. I turned up the other way. Lift the arm, and this will make sure that your paper or cardstock is in the right place. Now, if you're using paper, just be careful it doesn't get jammed. Some of the papers do get a little bit thin for it. I think cardstock works really well. But you can see these little ridges that go all the way down. And there's, I don't know whether you can see that there. There is a ridge here that will line up with these. And these little nodges there lock into these underneath. So you can, oh, I hope you can see that. So you can see that's how it works. It's really simple. So it's just click, move it away, click, move it away, click, move it away, and we keep going until we have the processes of the whole border done. Take that away, and there's a candy cane border done. Simple and easy. So next I'm going to do the stockings with the parakeet shimmer. I tried the dark green previously, but sometimes our cardstocks get, would you believe, too thick, and it has struggles a little bit to go through, but the parakeet seems to work perfectly. And that'll be a nice colour to go with the layout anyway. So there's our stockings. And these are going to represent, these and the laser cuts are going to represent our strips. So it's a little bit of a play on things. So get rid of that. And our last border maker is the ornament. So let's get rid of that one. And click. They are very quick and easy to use. In we go. Now sometimes if you have a piece, you can see I've already used this piece of cardstock, but if you have a piece of cardstock that's a bit short, you can just use some post-it notes and that will absolutely hold in place. Okay, let's go. Now I'm going to punch out the ornaments border maker cartridge. Such a quick way of getting borders. Does make your table rattle though. It's like going to the gym. It's a good workout on your muscles. Right. Excellent. So there is our ornaments. So let me clean up and we'll get on with the next step. Okay, now we're, because I'm going to mat this onto this leafy green background, I want to trim 1/2 inch off two sides. So it will give it a 1/4 inch edge, and you'll see the green leafy trim coming through. And I did this in an earlier layout. I like to do this because it just finishes it quite nicely. It frames it. And I think that's the only thing we're going to need our 12-inch trimmer for. So we'll pop that aside. Let's have a look. And we're going to adhere this to this. Now, if you could have a larger frame, so you may have cut it 1 inch on both sides if you wanted something a little bit larger. You can also, and I've done this before, using the 12-inch trimmer, cut a 2-inch frame. So you take the center piece out and save it to matte photos or whatever have you, or use it for, elsewhere in the layout, and then you'll be saving paper. But we're not going to do that today because this is a back to basics class, so that's a little bit more of an advanced technique. Once again, I will use my repositionable tape runner. Fantastic stuff it is. That way, using our 13-inch by 13-inch mat, we can try to get that nice and even. You should end up with roughly about a 1/4 inch edge. Making sure that's nice and straight. Okay, that's going to give us our base. Now we will need to place our strips are going to go across the center and our triangles are going to go either side that way. So what we will need to do is work out the different lengths. Now I want to mix mine, so you'll need some scissors here to work out. I think the red berries are going to work well, and we might put like how you're going to lay them. And of course you want them different lengths. Might do, oh, what's the other side of that? I actually think I'm going to take that out of the center and put the train in the middle. So I think the train, oh yes, definitely the one with the red and green and blue in it. Let's move that around. Try the candy cane there. And like I say, these represent our strips. I don't even think I'm going to use that last piece. I think we might leave that out. And they can all go down further. So now you just need to work out your lengths as to where they're going to go. Now, I definitely think we want different lengths for a whole lot of interests. But you want enough sticking out of the eye of the ends, because I'm going to put my photos. So here we go. Let's have a look at that while we're at it. So I have 3 photos. And I may end up only using 2. And so if I use the whole 3, we are going to not be able to see the strips. So we definitely want to see our strips. So maybe just the 2 will work. And then we can have our triangles going either side. I think that'll work quite nicely. Okay, so you could have one photo running that way if you wish to, but I wanted to use a few more photos. So I think I'm going to need to cut the last carriage off here. Make that a bit shorter. And we'll have you sticking out that way. So if we have you out that way, and we can probably just take one bauble off. Follow the line of the bauble, and we'll see how that goes. And then this one, we'll definitely take one off. And you can see what's happening here. You're getting a whole lot of different lengths happening. Okay, this one, we might even keep that one the full length. And then this one, I think we'll cut right there and take a fair chunk off the stocking and keep that to that end. Okay, once you work out, I might take just a tiny little bit off the end of that, just so it's not protruding past my border. Okay, fantastic. Now we'll use the repositionable tape runner and adhere those down. So for time's sake, I will come back to you once that is done and we'll move on with the next step. Okay, now I have stuck all my strips down, my border maker and laser cut strips. So that's all of our strips. Now we need to create the triangles for the top and bottom. So what I am going to do is I'm going to move this out the road for now so you can see. And once again, we will need our 12-inch trimmer. Put it up the right way. And let me find the first piece. So we want them all the same width and length. So if we cut them about 2.5 inches wide, I think, maybe 2 inches. I think 2 inches is going to be good actually. Now this one is quite a fun pattern. I'm just having a look, and it does have a directional pattern on it, and we want to follow the direction because we don't want it to be upside down or sideways. So be mindful if you have a directional pattern to follow the direction. So if we cut it 2 inches wide and then 3 inches long, so just seeing what colour that was on the other side, and I think it's quite plain, but this is a fun layout, so I wanted to capture the fun of it. So we will do 4 in that pattern. We're not quite finished yet, but let's find our other patterns. Put those down. So this one's not a full piece, so let's see what we'll get out of it. We'll go that way actually, because we might get a few more. Once again, this is my daughter at her work. She entertains young children, and they had a Christmas party, would you believe? So we'll do two in that colour at this point. And I'll go to the other side because I'll use this paper for something else. I can see pencil marks on that, so we'll just take that end off. Get rid of that. Go from the other side. We don't want the pencil marks because they will... I was doing the Starflake recipe template. I think we just only need 2 of these anyway. So you'll need 4 at the top and 4 at the bottom is what we're aiming at. Hopefully we can fit all that in. That's what my plan is. So it's a dark blue on that side if we need more. But I think the green and blue harlequin pattern works very well for Christmas. Cut it 3 inch, don't cut it 2 inch, it'll be too short. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, so we should have enough pieces now. Now we need to turn these into triangles. Now you probably can stack them and do them on the 12-inch trimmer, but what we need to do is we need to grab a pencil, which I didn't do beforehand, that was silly of me, to work out where the center is. So that'll be at the 1 inch mark, because we're going to take it from the center to the corners to make an elongated triangle. So let me grab a pencil quickly, and I do apologize. Okay, I'm back with the pencil. Found a pencil. So at the 1 inch mark, we'll need to line that up, and I can see on the map that would be about there. That's going to be my center point. So now we need to go from lining it up on your trimmer from that corner to that corner. Now I've got two pieces stacked up here, so, and the trimmer can go through all that without moving. They will be rubbish. Oop. Pick both up. You can either flip it or you can turn it around, whatever suits you. Just make sure they don't move. You could do this on a personal trimmer as well, whatever's easiest for you. Anyway, we end up with these fantastic elongated triangles, and that's what we want to use. So keep going until you have them all done. Okay, now time to finish it off. I've had a look at where we're going to place our triangles, and I think the pattern will end up looking something like this, roughly. So roughly like that. So we're going to do the same top and bottom before we put our photos on. So let's start adhering those. And once again, trusty repositionable tape. So this really is a cheeky take on the strip and triangle. I know when I did my strip and triangle class all those years ago, it was nothing like this. But this is with our current tools. Like, we never had the border maker system, and we didn't have repositionable tape, and there was lots of things we didn't have that we now have. So even a beginner should be able to effectively achieve this. Okay, get it nice and evenly spaced. And last one, and then we're going to repeat the triangles on the opposite side. So we'll have 4 going up and 4 coming down from the top. So if you start your second lot here, pretty close to where you started the first one, because that's close to the center. The point's almost at the 6 inches, so you could line it up exactly if you wish. I just was a bit cheeky and eyeballed it. But you want to try to get it roughly visually in a similar position. And I'm a little bit OCD, so I'm trying to repeat the pattern so top and bottom is similar. Oop. Move that across a little bit. We want similar sort of gaps. It's a bit hard to see above that when you're a bit further away from it. Red one next. How pretty is that pattern on the other side? I was tempted to use it, but it is a fun layout, and I think that's a little bit more of a grown-up Christmas paper. Oop. And the last one. Even the blue gingham is gorgeous too. But I wanted the yellow ornaments in it. I was talking about directional paper earlier, and after I cut the triangles I realised that the paper is not quite directional, but for the triangles it works. Okay, so we have our strips and we have our triangles. Now to finish it off, I think just a couple of photos which we will adhere. I've already picked out a sticker and an embellishment to go on here. Now these photos are slightly different widths, but they're still 6 inches long, so they should line up quite nicely. Okay, we can still see our strips, we can still see our triangles. So I thought, since that her name was Jingles the elf, so I thought we might use a Santa and an elf at the bottom here, and I think I might stick the season's greetings, the red season's greetings, along the top here. Try to make sure it's nice and even before we put it down, and we'll stick those down. And I think this is just such a fun layout and a great take, like I said, on the strip and triangle. So what do you think? Thank you very much. Enjoy.